Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing mineral nutrition in plants, which is an important topic of your unit first of botany second paper. This we all know that green plants are capable of manufacturing organic food by the process of photosynthesis, but they require inorganic substances from outside. This is nutrition of plants, which is only inorganic, and these inorganic substances occur as minerals in the soil. Therefore, the nutrition of green plants is known as mineral nutrition. The mineral nutrients are available in three forms: dissolved, adsorbed, and combined. The dissolved nutrients form soil solution with freely available soil water. It generally contains very little concentration of salts. The adsorbed minerals are held by the soil colloids, both inorganic and organic. The negatively charged colloids hold cations, while anions occur on the surface of positively charged colloids. They are always in equilibrium with the dissolved fractions. In the combined form, mineral nutrients have complex combinations with inorganic or organic substances. Minerals are released when the complexes break down due to various forces like physical, chemical, or organic. They then become part of the soil solution or get adsorbed over colloidal particles. The mineral substances available to the plants from the soil occur in the form of either cations or anions, like potassium, magnesium, calcium, ferrous, manganese, copper, zinc, and cobalt form cations, while phosphorus, sulfur, boron, molybdenum, and chlorine form anions. Nitrogen occurs both as cations when in the form of ammonium ions, and anions when in the form of nitrites or nitrates. The most common and available form is nitrate anions for plants. This picture shows the essential elements of plants. There are various types of mineral elements present in the soil, but all of them are not essential for plants. Besides, a particular element may be needed for the growth of one plant and may not be required at all by the other plant. Therefore, there is a criteria of plants requirement is different for different plants. As per the requirement of plants, there are two terms, macro and micronutrients. The term macro or micronutrients is used in reference to the quantitative requirement of a particular mineral. Although there is not any absolute quantity which can divide the two types of nutrients, but the elements required by the plants in relatively large amounts are called as major elements or macronutrients. They are 10 in number and are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, potassium, nitrogen, sulfur, calcium, iron, and magnesium. Of these 10 elements, the last 7 from phosphorus to manganese are present in the nutrient medium and are mineral elements. The remaining 3, that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, are provided to the plant in large quantities by carbon dioxide, water, and oxygen. Therefore, these elements are usually not regarded as mineral elements. Besides these 10 macronutrients or major elements, there are a few other elements which are essential for plants but are required in very small amounts. Hence, these are called as minor nutrients or micronutrients. These include copper, zinc, boron, molybdenum, chlorine, and you can see in the list that iron is in micro elements, written in micro elements, but as you know that iron is present in two forms, ferrous and ferric. So, it is also included in macro elements list as well as in micro elements list. Role of mineral elements in plants, how they are important to plant and how they are absorbed by atmosphere or by soil solution. Here in the picture you can see that atmospheric carbon dioxide is being absorbed by the leaves, while at the same time leaves are transpiring water and oxygen is also coming out by the process of photosynthesis. In lower portion, like in root portion, you can see that minerals are being absorbed, water is being absorbed by the roots, while carbon dioxide, roots are releasing carbon dioxide during respiration, and soil aeration or the oxygen is also being absorbed by the roots. So, in mineral absorption, roots as well as leaves are also playing important parts. Now, how these mineral elements are important for plants? The mineral elements are utilized by the plants in four basic ways. The elements may form part of structural unit such as carbon in cell wall of or nitrogen in proteins. Elements may be incorporated into organic molecules important in metabolism. For example, magnesium in chlorophyll or phosphorus in ATP. Elements may function as enzyme activators. For example, they act as a catalyst in certain enzyme reactions. Elements in ionic form help to maintain osmotic balance, such as potassium in guard cells. Here is a summary of or a list of elements required by plants, their symbols, their amount which is required by the plants, deficiency symptoms, if the minerals are deficient in soil solution, what effect you can see in the plants, and then toxicity and overdosing problems. When they are more in amount, then they are also harmful. So, when they are present in appropriate amount, they are favorable for plants growth. For this summary or for this table, tomorrow I will be posting some notes on the functions of these mineral elements and their deficiency symptoms separately. Now, this picture shows the passage of mineral ion absorption. It is more or less similar to water absorption passage. You can see the internal structure of root hairs and anatomy of root you can see. There are two pathways, A and B, and you can see that when water with minerals travels by passage A, which is through cytoplasm of cells, which is being done with the help of plasmodesmata, cytoplasmic connections. This is known as symplastic absorption, and in path B you can see that the cytoplasm is not involved and water is using free spaces between cells. So, like water absorption, simple water absorption by root, these two passages are also being followed by mineral ion absorption. Now, mineral toxicity and ion antagonism. When minerals are deficient in soil solution, they show some symptoms in plants, and when they are overdosing, then they show some toxic effects also. So, most of the minerals inhibit plant growth when their concentration exceeds a certain level, In general, micronutrients are more toxic than the macronutrients. However, some nutrients such as potassium and chlorine are tolerated by most of the plants in relatively higher concentrations. The limit of beneficial concentration of a nutrient varies from species to species and also according to the tissue or age of the plant. A mineral can induce toxicity at higher concentration in the following general ways. First, it can lower water uptake by the plants as it occurs in the saline environments. The plants which do grow in such environments possess special adaptations, they are called as halophytes. Second, it can antagonize the uptake of other minerals. Often the toxicity symptoms of the mineral resembles the deficiency symptom of another mineral. At higher concentrations, it may interfere with the structure and function of a specific cell organelle or may interfere with the physiological process. Often such effects are mediated via change in the structure and function of enzymes and other important macromolecules. Now, ion antagonists, some ions influence the effect of other ions on plants. They may either potentiate the effect or retard it. The inhibitory effect of one ion on the function of other is known as ion antagonism. This antagonistic effect is affected at the uptake level of ion. For most of the alkaline cations, for example, magnesium, calcium and potassium, the uptake of one is generally reduced when the other one is available in plenty. Such antagonistic effects may be so severe that heavy absorption of one nutrient may cause a deficiency of the other. For example, potassium deficiency may be induced by heavy applications of magnesium, like when one is available in overdosing, then it may reduce the effect of another. So, this is all about this is an introduction of mineral nutrition in plants, and detailed deficiency symptoms, their functions, role of minerals, I will be posting in separately in the form of e-content. Thank you.